Hello everyone, and welcome back to MAI Construction Inc. We're pleased to announce that we've just completed a major project with the Computer History Museum located in Mountain View, California. In part one of our video series called Computer History Museum Partners with MAI Construction for New Learning Lab Project, we went over the construction and building phase of the project. Now, in the finale of our video series on this project, we're going to reveal the Computer History Museum's Learning Lab as it's now open to the public. Joining us today are Lauren Silver, Vice President of Education for the Computer History Museum, as well as Gary Matushita, Vice President of Operations for the Computer History Museum. Also, the architect for the project, Mark Horton, and MAI Construction's Vice President, Barry Paxton. Gary, how did keeping the museum open to the public during construction impact both the public and the work?
So we have a lot of experience in this. Since we've worked on projects for 11 years with both Mark and with Barry, and we always do it with the museum open because we're a public institution. We have events here. We have different functions of our own lectures. We pretty much don't shut down during construction, and it really takes a lot of coordination, a lot of teamwork between the contractors, between our staff, and between the teams that are working on different parts of the project, like Lauren's group, to keep the museum open. And so that's a lot of scheduling and a lot of sensitivity to the public that's right around us. No, I think it's really great to be able to bring this whole team together and to have them talk about this. So here's Barry.
Barry, can you give us a recap of the entire build-out phase and talk about the high-end finishes?
So what we had then was just a shell of a space. We're just getting the rough end complete at that time, prepping for all the finishes, and really, as you can see, the finishes are really high end. And so the rough end was very important to get all the electrical and infrastructure in place in order to have the finishes fit just perfectly, because it was a very detailed project. The ceiling is probably the highlight of this project. It is a new product that came out of 3form last year, and this is the largest install to date of this ceiling type. So 3form is very interested in checking out how the ceiling went in. Also, the coordination of installing the ceiling was very difficult. They actually had to lay the entire ceiling out on the floor, frame it out, and then lift it up, directly up. Having all of the infrastructure in place, the fire sprinklers, all the mechanical, and so that was a process that took several weeks to complete the install of this ceiling.
Now let's turn it over to Mark. Mark, you're the architect for this project. What can you tell us about your vision before it started and where we are today?
Sure. Well, I should mention at the very start of this project, we went through a whole ideation process with IDEO. That's a design thinking firm in Palo Alto to help the museum begin to understand the program and where they wanted this space to go. Our firm was involved in developing further along in the design process, but construction documents, the permitting process, and eventually getting into construction and helping the contractor make it become a reality. I think that the finishes help reinforce that, as Barry mentioned with regard to the ceiling. The 3form ceiling, I think, is a really nice addition. And when you come in and you look at the ceiling, it appears as though it's great and it's just there, but it was not as simple as that. It took quite a bit of time to get to where the ceiling is now in the design process, in looking at alternative ideas, materials, costs. There are a lot of things to going into eventually getting to something that seems so appropriate and a singular element.
Now let's hear from Lauren. Lauren, how would you describe the public's response to the new facilities?
Oh, it's been great. It's been really nice. So we had an all-hands kickoff for the space last week. The ceiling that Mark mentioned is getting a really great response. The carpet, I'm hearing that it's warm. I'm hearing that it's friendly. It's welcoming. We have used it in a couple of different ways so far, and it's the flexibility that we built into it is exactly what it's being used for. It's been a real privilege, actually. I was very lucky to be able to work with Mark and with May and even with our exhibit designers who are so experienced in the museum, because it allowed the look and feel, while it's very unique to what we have, compared to what we have in the rest of the museum, it also still has a feeling, it still has the aesthetic of the Computer History Museum. It's still us. But it's expanding what we're able to do and who we'll be able to reach. And it's such a privilege to have been able to work on this space.
Thank you, everyone. Guided by a client-centered approach, MAI Construction's mission is to fuse our clients' vision and goals into our planning and delivery, creating environments and spaces as unique and diverse as each of our clients. To learn more about MAI Construction, please visit MAIConst.com.